Alright, so this is going to be a quick update video. For those of you who are members of my Facebook group, Honest Fragrance Reviews, or have been following me, you probably know already, but I did an announcement a while back about that I've been working on two of my own fragrances. One is going to be a Oriental style fragrance, kind of not really gourmand, but more Oriental, certainly a heavy winter, fall kind of fragrance. The other is a more fresh spring, summer fragrance. It's an aquatic, but not like anything else out there, and that was my goal. I didn't want to do something that was going to be redundant. This is some truly unique, and that was my goal behind that. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about and you're interested in figuring that out, go join my Facebook group, Honest Fragrance Reviews. If you have not already seen it, I will do a full breakdown video as they come back. But right now, this purpose of this video is actually for a different reason. So I should have samples of those soon. I will be sending those out to interested people when they come, when they're ready. The reason I made this, because at the time I had announced this, I said I didn't want to do clones, and I don't. Well, at least not in the traditional sense. So the main reason I didn't want to do clones is because there's so many clone houses out there, and quite frankly, they're all getting, by and large, they're all getting the oils from the same distributors. There's a handful of distributors, most of them overseas, some in the U.S. that they get their fragrance oils from, and so a lot of them smell the same. Now, oil concentration, fixatives, those are different, but for the most part, they smell very similar. That said, I did want to do at least one, well, I guess technically two, three potentially, clones, but they're not going to be clones in the sense that I'm not going to be buying fragrance oils from one of these places that everybody else is buying the fragrance oils from. I want to actually recreate to an extent the fragrance. So what I'll be doing is, and I'm going to decide to do this, those who follow this channel know Layton is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I have collaborated with Mike from King Fragrances on a few different variants of Layton. They weren't quite what I wanted to do because I didn't have full, free will really to go where I wanted with it, obviously. But there was Dark Horse Exclusive, which was a Layton exclusive kind of alternative, almost kind of what I imagined Layton exclusive to be. But again, it wasn't what I wanted it to really be. That said, now that this is going to be my own fragrance, I'm going to have my own company, I want to start two things. I want to create a Layton that is richer, deeper, and also a just beast Layton. Parfums more Layton that's just like, going to smell very good, and it's going to be very loud for those that are interested in that. And then I'm going to have a version of that I'm going to talk to Mike, but assuming he's cool with it, I'm going to use probably the same name, called Dark Horse Exclusive, and I'll probably use my normal version will probably just be called Dark Horse. And the idea is essentially to make a version of Parfums de Marly Layton that is what I imagine it to be, the exclusive version. When I first heard of exclusive, I thought it was going to be a darker, a denser, a more complex, interesting version of Layton. But I did not imagine it being animalic. I did not imagine there being watery notes. The way they took Layton exclusive, in my opinion, is not the way that I imagined it, and not the way that I really was hoping it was going to be. So I'm hoping to recreate the DNA from the ground up to not only make a version of Layton that is kind of what I would do if I had originally made Layton, but also a version of Parfums de Marly Layton exclusive that is what I would have done. And so that would omit the civet, that would omit some of the oud, the watery notes, some of the things that to me just don't make sense in the Layton DNA, because watery notes almost freshen it up, but then you're darkening it at the same time. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. What I would do, amid some of the floral components that were added, I would add in leather, but not make it an animalic leather. It would be a very mass appealing leather. Think something along the lines of ombre leather or a suede sort of leather, maybe with a touch of animalic, but not heavy, not like a Tuscan leather. And then I would definitely darken it up with some incense, similar to what you get in something like This Is Him, or Bleu de Chanel Parfum, that dark, smooth incense. That is my goal, to make it darker, deeper, more dense, but in a very mass appealing way, and also make it, in my opinion, more seductive and mysterious. And then I would add in a dose of amber. Not an amber that's going to be overpowering, but an amber that's going to add this nice kind of interesting touch as well. And then that's going to be kind of the core components of it. The vanilla I'm going to use is going to be different than the traditional vanilla as well. It's going to be a black vanilla. There's a few different things I'm going to do as far as, the base goes too. I'm going to use woods, but it's just not going to be an animalic sort of oud. It's going to be more of a cleaner oud. But anyway, this is just kind of the general ballpark idea. I have a finalized kind of list of notes, and I will provide that for those that are interested very soon. I realistically see these both being done, both versions of Layton. See, right now it's just funding. Getting together the funding. I have everything kind of done. I just need to get the money together now. So that's what I'm working on. I would say realistically, probably a month or two out. Safe side 2 months, because I still got to decide on bottles and labeling and everything like that. That said, I should probably have samples ready in a month. If anyone wants to, and again, you obviously don't have to, it is what it is, but if anybody does want to help contribute to the project, I will send samples, free samples of both the Layton and the Layton Exclusive to anybody who helps contribute whatever amount. If you want to do so, you can just send it to my PayPal. It's just jeffguyman@yahoo.com. Whatever proceeds are sent to that will 100% be used to fund this project. And like I said, I will include samples of both that will be sent to you for free. And that alone is going to cost $5 in shipping. So hopefully, I will say donations of $5 or more, just because at least the shipping cost is going to at least be that. But I also will, in line with that, anybody who donates, will not only get free samples of both, but you will get a discount on the launch, and I will reserve first come, first serve for those obviously who help contribute, because I appreciate you helping support the project. So that will be those two. Like I said, I also have 2 completely originals dropping as well, which should be finalized about that same period of time, about the 2-month mark. And then I may or may not do a reimagined version of Aventus or something like that. I do have an idea of kind of what I would do if I did that, but we'll see. It depends what people want. Right now, though, I'm going to focus on these 4. And so anyway, that's that. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what, in your opinion, what notes you think, like how you imagine Layton Exclusive to be. Maybe you love Layton Exclusive, but if you were able to redo it yourself, what you kind of see, what you would want to see in that Layton Exclusive. My opinion, again, the base DNA is going to be richer, denser, more seductive, and then I'm going to add from the original Dark Horse, which is going to be the new Dark Horse, DNA. I'm going to add leather. I'm going to add amber. I'm going to add incense. And I'm going to add a few other notes in there within, again, more clean oud. Some other things in there. Take out some of the florals. Take out the civet. Take out the watery notes. None of that's going to be in there. And then it's going to be, in my opinion, a much more mass appealing, seductive fragrance. But anyway, what would you like to see in that? If there is, I'm open to suggestions. Again, I can still kind of mess with the formula. This is just where I'm at now, but I am open to suggestions. Thank you all again. I do appreciate your support 100%. Anytime you do anything like this, you take a big risk. It's a lot of money up front, money set aside, and it could just ultimately be a giant loss. So it's a big risk, but I appreciate the support, and I look forward to sharing these with you, because it certainly has been a ton of time that's gone into them, a lot of planning, and I'm excited to see it finally come to fruition. So anyway, thank you all again, much appreciated. Again, nobody obviously has to donate. If you do, it's appreciated, but obviously there's no expectation that you do. Either way, this is going to get funded. It would just help speed it up. But in any event, it's going to happen regardless. So thank you all. Really appreciate it again. Have a good night. And again, I will update you as soon as I have a new update. And anybody who donates, I'll also list your name as well on the list, just so I can have a running tally of who donated, so I know who to send samples to when they're ready, and also who to put on the kind of reserve list, as well as, throw the discount code to when they're, everything's finalized.